Our group, I have a confession to make. From the year 1992 to 2004, I was a dink. Yes, 12 years of my life. Since defecting from being a dink, I can never go back. My name is Jost, and yes, that is my real name. I didn't have to go into hiding after my defection. After being together for 18 years and married for 12, my husband and I, we weren't going to have kids. There was no prenuptial agreement about not having kids. We weren't going to do it. However, as a woman, it is my prerogative to change my mind, and I did change my mind. That decision changed our life focus forever. It changed the core of my husband and I's relationship. Up until this point, we'd been through the highs and the lows, and we were pretty well put together as a couple. But we did not know what was going to happen when we plunged into parenthood. The control I thought I had of my life was gone, and instead we handed it over to constant surprises and a little bit of controlled chaos. My world shifted when I went from a dink to a mother. This is a really unique experience for a couple things when you take the leap. I'm really not the first one to take this leap, but no kids to kids, it's a big leap. And you might be wondering what a DINK is. DINK stands for double income, no kids. I'm serious about this. There are books out there about it. We've read them. So we really enjoyed being dinks. You know, the dink life isn't bad. You know, when my husband and I both had nice jobs, we were able to travel a lot, and we really, as a dink, I had a power job. I traveled a lot, and we played really, really hard. But then, when you have a child, it turns into from an I to a we. We started to travel. We played hard. We had the privilege of having another life in our family. Driving home one evening, after yet another eventful trip, my husband and I, we looked at each other, and I looked at him and I said, after 12 years of marriage, I want to have a baby. Just like that, everything changed. We just moved into our dream house several months earlier, and now the decision of having a baby, we went from dinks to parent want-to-bes. Before I go forward, we really must look back at my dink life. My husband and I both worked at very successful jobs, and we had the incomes to prove it. So we were able to purchase new cars every couple of years. We traveled a lot. We just bought our dream house in the woods. And I really felt I kind of had to travel because I had 6 weeks of vacation. So a typical day for me in the office is I would get up and I'd go to the gym, and then after I went to the gym at 5 a.m., I would go into the office and do a little paperwork. Then lunch rolled around and I'd have some lunch with some colleagues. After that, maybe a little golf, then we'd go back into work in the afternoon, then we'd do a little bit more work, and then it was dinner and cocktails with a bank customer. And that was my revolving door of a life, and it was wonderful. It was really nice. We did a lot of things independently, my husband and I. I went and did these things, and my husband did spend a lot of time. He'd go up north to our place up north. And the decision, it just changed it. It changed everything. So we went full steam ahead together. I began reading everything I could about having a baby. Really. I went to the doctor. I started taking prenatal vitamins. I started eating and drinking anything that was good for the baby. If it was bad, it wasn't in the house. I continued to work out, and I continued my hard, long work days. We didn't breathe a word to another soul. This was our secret. I even bought a family car. You think that would have triggered a little suspicion? But a woman of a certain age, as the doctor says, people really don't have babies this old, or you become flagged as maybe a risk. But a few short months later, I was going to have a baby. It was incredible. I was so excited. We had to prepare. First, after the three-month waiting period, we went to go tell our parents. So we sat down, and of course everyone wants to have a cute little story about how you told mom and dad. We sat down and we were like, so let's go down the list of those grandkids. And we started talking about how old the kids were and all that. And then we said, well, we need to add another one. And that was that. we were having a baby, but we weren't going to have kids. Guess what? We changed our minds. So during the next 7 months, I found myself, instead of sneaking out to go golfing, I was sneaking out looking at baby things during work. It was really hard. Instead of going out for cocktails and dinner, I went home for a quiet evening, a nice dinner, and bed early. I mean, my focus was definitely starting to change. On May 28th, we were blessed with a beautiful, healthy baby boy. I was lucky to stay home for 3 months with my new bundle of joy. It was so wonderful. It was like a light switch went off, and I turned it back on, and I was a completely different person. I mean, where did this person come from? I was so in love with him, I couldn't put him down. I wouldn't even share him with the grandparents. He was my baby. My husband and I were so lucky. We never had the diaper changing argument. We just did it. In the middle of the night, when he would cry or need some food or diaper change, we just ran and did it. We never said, oh, it's your turn. We just did it. And it was beautiful. And I'm so proud to share that with my friends. And then my friends complain, oh, he never changed a diaper, or he's going to do one a week. I'm like, are you kidding? My husband changed all the tar diapers. He's a wonderful man. So he just became all-consuming to us. It was never, I didn't even think of my career before then. It was just him. Like, everything else stopped before then. The day came, though, of course, I had to go back to work. It was awful. Somehow, everyone in the office stayed the same. But I was different. I was completely different. I didn't fit in anymore. I couldn't concentrate at work. I began resenting being there. Then when my job was being changed, I had an opportunity to leave. I took my stock options. We sold our dream home. We paid off our debt. And we built a house in a kid-friendly neighborhood that was affordable. So guess what? I got to stay home with this bundle. I began to be a stay-at-home mom. So my 6 weeks of vacation turned into 24/7 of a new commitment. And my new boss was a beautiful 8-pound, 6-ounce baby boy named Al. Wow, what a couple of decades. I can't believe it. Now I refer to this life shift as BA, as my friends all know. BA means before Al, because there was a small life before Al, but it seems to be getting dimmer and dimmer. And when his birth came, we came to a new life of a family of 3. I never imagined my life as a dink and changing from a life as a dink to a mother wannabe. In my view, I really needed this shift. I was leading kind of a selfish life, and not all dinks do that. This is my experience. I was leading a selfish life, and instead, I can proudly say, because of him, I switched from I to we. And now the person I am and the family we are, because of this bundle of joy, I've become selfless. So long, dink life, and welcome to my new life as a SIAC, single income, 1 kid. This is what we looks like. I mean, Al is boring.
You have to tilt it down for the camera, maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed my story from dink to SIAC. I thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. It's astonishing that my son is going to turn 10 next month. It's unbelievable. I can't even remember the person I was before he came into our lives. I'm a better version of my best self because of him. And I would preview that the best is still to come. Maybe a sequel about being an empty nester. Thank you all.
Good job.
Thank you.